universities, right? By doing blended, you can double your intakes, right? We have got Colombo Stock Exchange, right, that are making some of the very old school public companies change. They have mandated virtual AGMs, annual general meetings. They have mandated virtual board meetings, right? And that's changing the whole public, the public quoted companies. We are also seeing training programs to increase online services for pensioners, right? We are having 860 smart social circles in 860 Grama Nildhari divisions around 25 districts, right? And most importantly, last but not least, the eGov initiatives. WHO, WTO has insisted that government has to go digital, right? eGov is absolutely critical. Today, we are seeing all kinds of national ID project, medical project, regulatory bodies such as SLSI, CEA, TRC are getting automated at a rate. Budgets are being allocated at a rate. So these changes are going to have a cascading effect. And if an organization felt that they could, take it easy on going digital or digitally transforming their organizations, well, they are in for a surprise and they are in for a very high risk. So let me just give you a very interesting quote, right? Some companies from John Chambers, some companies understand just how serious the threat of digital disruption is, and some struggle to take it seriously. It is predicted that 40% of today's businesses will fail in the next 10 years. 70% will attempt to transform themselves, but only 30% will succeed. If I'm not making you sweat, I should be. Now, interestingly, this quote was 5 years back, right? And if you think you have another 5 years remaining, think again, because COVID has changed all that, right? So if you're an organization and you're not looking at digital, right, you're in for a lot of trouble. And I think Mr. Rajapaksha also has highlighted how the whole consumer pattern is changing, how the corporate world is changing. And if you are not going to be changing, you are dead. So that, I hope, has made my case for why it's important for any company, be it an SME or a corporate, to make sure that they adopt digital. So let's talk about how to go about doing this. Now, it's a very long subject. It's a very in-depth subject, and I don't know if I have too much time to really go into how you go about doing it. But I think the best way to start in terms of figuring out where you start or how you go about it is, I have just set out a few questions for you here on the screen. I think when you ask those questions to yourself and your organizations, that will give you some answers to where you need to start and how you need to go about it. The first question is, how are you talking to your customers on digital social media platforms? I mean, I just mentioned there's over 10 million people who are online for 6 hours a day, right? Are you engaging with your customers online, or are you not? Do you not have any engagement with that 6 hours that they're spending? That's the first question. Do you have that in place? How are you connected with your suppliers and your partners? Is there seamless exchange of information between them? Are your information systems connected to your partners and to your suppliers? Can they know when you have got an order to fulfill, a very large order to fulfill, that they need to prepare their supplies in order to supply you for that large order? Or various different questions. Are they connected? Are your staff bogged down with boring repetitive tasks? Today you have got robotics, soft robots, or robots that can actually, you don't need an operator sitting in front of a computer. You can get a robot to sit in front of a computer and you're staring at a computer and someone's doing the work for you. That's available plenty. Do your customers need to visit you or one of your locations to experience or purchase your product, right? That's a serious issue. Customers are not going to be, many customers are not going to be comfortable in visiting you in this pandemic or even after. Do you have an online option of going online and experiencing your product in some way? And there are so many virtual reality, augmented reality options that allow you to do this. And last but not least, how many of your management decisions are backed by actual facts and figures? Or is it that you make your facts and figures, you make decisions based on assumptions, based on gut feel, right? And if you're doing that, you are at a competitive disadvantage. So these are just some of the questions which will set you on to a right track in terms of how you move on to digitizing or digitally transforming your organization. And these steps, if you can answer these steps very carefully, that will set you on the right track to how to go about transforming your organization digitally. Then, I just also like to touch upon another very key element of digital, that is essentially digital disruption. Now, while some organizations can get away by digitizing their organization, there are some industries and some verticals that will have to disrupt your business model. Because, let me give you an example. What do I mean by this? You take the taxi industry. If you had people working in the taxi industry, you had so many, a few years back, you had so many taxi cab services around. They all had maybe two vehicles, 5 vehicles, 10 vehicles, some had 50 vehicles. Today, where are they? They've just gone, right? They're no more. And companies like PickMe, Uber have just disrupted that industry. They've taken over the industry without a single taxi belonging to them, right? And this is not just happening in the taxi industry, it's happening all over the place. It's happening in restaurants. We are seeing Mr. Rajapaksa mentioned as People's Bank, he mentioned about virtualization. Today, my last discussion with Central Bank was that they are even open to the idea of launching a 100% virtual bank that has no physical presence. So what do you do as a bank that has physical presence, that has the overheads of a physical presence? How do you manage that situation where you're competing against a bank which is 100% virtual, right? We will see virtual universities very soon. So if there are universities out there who think, right, we have invested heavily, we've got infrastructure, well, you're in for a surprise because virtual universities will just take that up. And this disruption is important for you to understand, because if you do not see this disruption coming, right, you could be vanished. You could vanish from the face of this earth within a matter of months, not even years, within a matter of months. So it's absolutely important for all of you to see this. To just justify this claim, I know this screen is quite small, but as a last screen, I would like to share this for you. This screen shows you how many of these, from logistics, travel, from education, from infrastructure, from these various, from fintech, from agrotech, how these startups, which are very small startups, are disrupting industries and giving a fight to large established corporates, and are really pushing them out of their comfort zones, from their thrones, and taking over purely by using digital. So these industries have already been disrupted, and there are many industries in the future that are going to be disrupted. You need to make sure that you are well aware of this, you're watching for this, and you know that if your industry is going to be disrupted, you want to be the one that's going to disrupt it, not let someone else disrupt the industry and make you vanish. So that's just some interesting thoughts that I have left with you. And if you do need any help further, we are there to help you. And with that, I would like to end my few brief minutes discussion. Thank you very much, and over to you, India.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kamaluddin. That was a very beneficial discussion, and I hope the topic helped all our participants who have joined today of how they can develop their businesses using technology. Thank you so much, sir.